Good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to my channel. So as most of you guys know, I'm an Englishman living in LA, and a lot of people ask me what it's like to pack up your life and go move abroad. So I thought today I would do pros and cons of what it's like to live abroad. Now obviously my situation is specific from London to LA, but you get the idea and take what you can from it. So I'll be going through my pros of living abroad, and I will also be going through the cons of living abroad and why the grass is not always greener living in LA, because actually the grass is greener in England because of all the rain we get. So
plenty of downpours to come, and some of those are going to be pretty torrential and thundery.
okay, perfect. Let's kick things off with the weather then, because that's always the first to discuss, mainly because we are polar opposites. In England, we are deprived of sun, and you forget how much the sun is medicine for the mind, the endorphins, the serotonin levels. It does so much beauty to us, and I think over here people get too used to that, you know. So being a Brit abroad, it makes me appreciate the sun every single day. I'm so happy, and part of that is because in England, we have 199 days of rain a year. 199 days of rain. That's 4 days a week. Let that sink in. Literally let that sink in. Yeah, well, it does sink into our soul, leaving us with lovely green grass, and then we wouldn't have to use fake grass like yours. And also make sure that sunscreen sinks in, because as an Englishman, the second the sun hits us, we go red, we burn, then we peel, then we go back to white. Sometimes it's just too hot. Also, bad weather, rain, it's very humbling, because if it's raining and you've got a wedding, you've got things you've got to do, you just got to get on with it. You can't just cancel your day, because you'll be cancelling most days. And then I think because of the weather, another pro would be healthier living. And I think that's mainly LA, not so much the rest of America, but the sun's out. You want to be outside, you want to adventure more. And that's something that's so exciting for me. And I think the fact that you can surf and snowboard in the same day, that is amazing. No, I have not done that. But one thing I did do, I bought a kayak. Now, there's two reasons why the kayak is in the pool. Number one, fear. The last time I was in a kayak, a few years ago in England, it was December, it was freezing cold. Somehow, I fell in the river. I nearly died, my lungs shrunk up, I couldn't breathe, just about made it. And number two, which leads perfectly into, over in America, the healthcare system over here is terrible. In England, we have the NHS, it's amazing, and it makes you appreciate it, especially when you're falling in the river. Thank you for that little reminder, but that's why this is the most important thing we can do. Push ourselves out of our comfort zone. This is one of the most valuable things we can do, just as human beings, you know, because the mind wants to recreate what it knows. It hates change, but change is how we grow. Throwing ourselves into different situations is how we learn. And we forget that it's the thought about suffering that does more damage than the suffering itself. So put yourself in different situations, you'll learn, you'll grow, you'll adapt, you'll broaden the mind, you'll be happier, you'll be more free, and you'll have more self-awareness. But your comfort zone is your family, and it is your friends, and being so far away from the people that raised you and the friendships that you built over your whole lifetime, it does make it harder. You do miss out on weddings and family events and that kind of thing. So in that respect, you can feel a little bit more detached. But I think on the flip side, living so far away from my family, it's actually made us closer, because we cherish that time we spend together more. We really appreciate it, and we're very present throughout it, because we know we're not going to get it that often. So I think that's something that's really important, because it's very easy to get complacent in relationships, especially with our family, our parents, how we speak to them. Do we ask questions? Do we show love and gratitude for everything they've done? And I think that's something that we have to remind ourselves, and that's why communication is so important, especially when you live so far away. So she's like, will they notice? Like, mum will notice. Mum will. But then communication can be hard because of the time difference, as England is 8 hours ahead, and it might not feel like much, but it does disrupt that flow. It is hard to feel more connected, and even when me and Jen were doing the long distance thing, we would talk sometimes, and Jen would be coming back from a nightclub at night time, and it'll be morning for me, so I'll be going to the gym, you know, completely different vibes, which makes it difficult for proper communication. Just fell asleep. Which is why the most important thing about living here is being with my lovely wife. I mean, I'd live anywhere to be with Jen. I'm so lucky, and we don't really need any more pros now, you know what I mean?
I mean, by the way, I did not pay him to make me the last pro. I cannot thank you enough for moving and uprooting your life to come be with us.
It's completely worth it, and it's all in the name of love. Yeah, Can't argue with that one. In conclusion, whilst of course there's so much I miss back home and my friends and my family and the good old sarcasm that England offers, I'm so happy out here. It's been such an incredible adventure, and of course I'll be anywhere just for Jen, but going somewhere new and starting a whole new life, a whole fresh perspective, your awareness is just expanded, your travel, it broadens the mind, and you're thrown out your comfort zone and you're feeling the fear, you're doing it anyway. And I know there's a lot of people out here that have got that itch, that maybe want to try something new, go somewhere new, live somewhere new, just try and push yourself out of that comfort zone. And I know it's scary, I know it's very challenging, but I promise you that doing these things, it's always what you don't do that you regret. And if you have this gut feeling that you want to do something like this and go out there, you're going to learn so much. And if you realize that you don't like it and you hate it and you want to go back, then you've still learned so much because you've learned a lot of what you don't want. So I think it's such a beautiful thing to be able to do. I recommend it to anyone, especially as you're young. You can travel. Like, the more you can explore new cultures, people with different ideas, people with different backgrounds and upbringings, I think that kind of thing broadens your mind. It really gives you a lot of empathy to other people and other understandings as well. So I fully recommend that. So thank you for watching this lovely little pros and cons. Please let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comments below. I want to do a Q&A, kind of answering open dialogue with you guys in a video soon. So let me know what you want answered, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.